people say we've been in a transition for years. To be in a transition, you have to start the transition. So it's like the actual transition's not started yet. So like when Liverpool went through this, they got Klopp, they stuck with him. They didn't win in the beginning.
True.
Do you know what I mean? People only remember his final few years when he was, competing with City and winning the biggest trophies. Didn't win in the beginning.
Really tough time.
So it's like, to start a transition, you have to make a plan and stick to it. So this is the thing that I think...
It's not easy to do though, is it?
It's not easy to do.
If it's not going well, the fans demand,
100%. But this is where I speak about like being realistic with like what your situation is. I feel like we've had that many different managers and different ideas and different like strategies in order to win. You end up in the middle of you end up in no man's land. So
we'll get back to Marcus in just a quick second, but remember, if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe, and don't forget to click the notification button so that you know when the next Big D video hits. And as ever, if there's something on your mind, if something is bubbling up inside of you that you need to express, please express it in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments and he's always interested in what is on your mind. Anyway, in this clip, Big D feels a little bit icky watching this clip, because there's some things, and there's just something about the energy of this clip that just kind of gets under the Big D's skin. There's just it's just a bit weird. Marcus Rashford goes all in explaining why Manchester United have been crap, basically, in by Man United standards over the past 10 years or whatever, and also, well, Gary Lineker talks absolute nonsense. Anyway, have a little look at the clip. Let me know what you think. Put your thoughts in the comment, because the Big D is, at the same time, a little bit wound up about this particular clip as well. Stick around for after the clip, because the Big D is going to tell you why. Here they are.
To be good. So like
when things are not going really well for you, and you've had a career that's kind of like everybody's career, with ups and downs, hard play stride, a tough season here, last season here at Barcelona. Do you get down a bit? Is it, you find it difficult?
It's not necessarily like being upset. It's frustrating, but the be all and end all is if it leads to trophies, everything gets put aside. So like your individual career is nothing without this team version, and that's also a part of football that I love.
Do you think sometimes you get unfairly criticised because of who you are and what you've done, not necessarily on the pitch? But I always thought, because it was, I'm a massive supporter of what you did. I mean, I think pretty much everyone is. It was incredible what you did. You shifted government policy and all that sort of stuff. It was remarkable. And always my fear was that the minute he has a bad spell, they'll blame that. Obviously, I'm saying this is because I feel it a little bit. But I think some of the times the criticism for you might go on a night out. You might go out in an outfit, a certain outfit, and that will be criticised. I don't think that would be criticised if that was a white player.
Like, I honestly think it's not because people don't want to highlight it. I just think people don't care anymore.
I just don't think you can change those people's opinions anyway. It's more about going forward and sort of changing the opinions of the youth, I've suffered it when I was coming through, but nothing changes. People always say what they want to say.
You'll notice it's different here.
100%. And I spoke to some of the...
You will, and that's what I've said. In terms of the football, they'll be incredibly critical if you're not performing on the pitch. They won't bother about your life off the pitch. They won't. They'll respect your life off the pitch. Even when you walk around, people will be respectful. And you get that in England as well, mostly. But I'm talking particularly in terms of the media. They will be very focused. In this city alone, in Barcelona, you've got 2 daily newspapers that only cover Barcelona Football Club, pretty much.
We'll see.
What about the managers that you've played for? I mean, it's also not that easy when they're turned over as regular as they've been at Manchester United in the past, because it's hard, isn't it? You suddenly change and then it's a different one. And then who've been the most influential on you?
Influential, I'd probably say Van Gaal. Jose and
very different.
Ole. Yeah, they're different, but because of what you just mentioned, we've had so many different managers. It's so hard to it's impossible for me to compare the managers. But when you're a developing player, like at a young age, you learn stuff that you've never no one's ever taught you that before. So like up until Jose, I'd never had a manager that was so fixated on winning before Jose.
Van Gaal wasn't fixated.
He was fixated on winning, but he wanted to play a beautiful style of football. Jose don't care. Do you know what I mean? As long as you win, of course, if he could choose, he'd want you to play well. But if you win, you win. You move on to the next game. And he had this attitude. And in the beginning, it was confusing for me because all the way through my development at United, it was about playing a certain style of, like, winning a certain way. So in the beginning, I was angry all the time. Like, we've not played well today. We've won, but because we've won and he's a manager that is just a winner, he doesn't bring up the points that you know was missing from that last game because we've won. But when we lose, he brings up the points then. But after like 6 months, I like just learned to like respect it, and then I started to reap the rewards from him as a coach.
I mean, all of the way he's talking about different systems, because obviously I like the tactical side of the game as well.
Yeah.
But just like how he's created different things in his head for different managers and when, and he's talking about the movement. Because obviously at Barcelona, you're going to play a high line. So if you win the ball back within 3 seconds, you're pretty much on goal. Sometimes at United, and we don't need to speak about United, but just in terms of their style of play, at times they would be so deep. When you got the ball, you have to take on 3 or 4 players.
Yeah, but show me a successful team that just adapts. When Fergie was in charge, not only the principles for the first team, the whole academy set up so you could pick players from 15 years and over, that's a full generation, and they'd all understand the principles of playing the Man United way. So you see it with any team that's been successful over a period of time, they have principles that any coach that comes in, any player that comes in has to align to these principles or be able to add to these principles. Whereas like at times I feel like United have just been, we're hungry to win, so we'll always try to, to adapt and to sign players that fit this system. But like, it's reactionary. If your direction's always changing, you can't expect to be able to win the league. Yeah, you might win some cup tournaments, but it's because you do have a good coach and you do have good players and you have match winners in your team. You're not there by accident. Like, this is what some people forget. So yeah, we've been way below where we deem United to be. But then if you take like a step back, which I've been able to do, especially over like the last 6 months, what do you expect? People say we've been in a transition for years. To be in a transition, you have to start the transition. So it's like the actual transition's not started yet. So like when Liverpool went through this, they got Klopp, they stuck with him. They didn't win in the beginning.
True.
Do you know what I mean? People only remember his final few years when he was, competing with City and winning the biggest trophies. Didn't win in the beginning.
Really tough time.
So it's like, to start a transition, you have to make a plan and stick to it. So this is the thing that I think.
It's not easy to do though, is it?
It's not easy to do.
If it's not going well, the fans demand,
100%. But this is where I speak about like being realistic with like what your situation is. I feel like we've had that many different managers and different ideas and different like strategies in order to win. You end up in the middle of you end up in no man's land. So,
does it hurt you?
Yeah, 100%. But not only as like a player, just as like I'm a United fan.
Looking ahead now, you're here for a loan, obviously a loan spell, but would you, I presume you'd like to be successful here, win trophies, and stay here for a few years.
Yeah, for sure. What I deem as success is growth. So if you think about it, they're a team that's like, a few years before, they found themselves in a tricky spot, but they stuck to what their
roots.
Do you know what I mean? Their principles are. Yeah, it might be a slightly different brand of Barcelona in terms of like there's so many young players in the same setup, but this is what it is. And they've found a way for that to be one of the driving forces of a really successful team. So if I can bring like my own attributes and skill sets into a winning setup, I honestly think it's going to be a really positive year. So
I have to say it's lovely to have an Englishman playing at Barcelona.
No, it's
what
not.
Gary Lineker said there was irresponsible, reckless, unethical, and untrue. For him to say that if a white player was wearing the clothes that Marcus Rashford was wearing, say, then the media wouldn't care. That is stupid, ridiculous, because does he not remember George Best? Does he not remember Paul Gascoigne? Does he not remember Wayne Rooney? Does he not remember David Beckham? All of those players, what do they have in common, apart from being talented professional footballers? But they're all white players, just to spell it out. David Beckham alone used to wear crazy outfits. He got far more criticism than any professional footballer has ever gotten in their entire career, regardless of race, gender, nationality, whatever you want, whatever stupid bracket you want to place them in. He has got more criticism than all of those guys put together. And he knows that. So Gary Lineker is either stupid or he is, what can I say, nefarious. Because for him to say that, to stoke that fire unnecessarily, is deeply irresponsible. Because it's just not true. It's a lie. The reason Marcus Rashford got criticised is very, very simple. It had nothing to do with things that he's done outside of football. It's got nothing to do with his clothes or anything like that. It has got everything to do with as soon as he signed his big bumper contract with Manchester United, his productivity levels plummeted. And he was stealing a wage for about 2 seasons, 3 seasons, however long it was. And he never put the effort in. And I used to go, I still go and watch Manchester United. And I used to watch him. He didn't put the effort in. He didn't work hard enough to justify Manchester United playing £300,000 per week. That's why. And the Manchester United fans gave him a lot of support for a long time, to the point where we stopped caring. That's the reason. It's got nothing to do with his clothes, his extracurricular activity. Certainly got nothing to do with his skin colour. Man United fans couldn't care less. He's not the first black player that's ever played for Man United, and it won't be the last. Did Andy Cole get this much criticism? No. Why? Because Andy Cole was class. He scored goals. Dwight York. He got up to more shenanigans than Marcus Rashford ever did behind the scenes. But guess what? He scored goals. He helped the team win. Marcus Rashford, as soon as he got his bumper contract, he gave in. Now, here's the thing. So Marcus Rashford's criticising Manchester United there. I can't help but feel that Marcus Rashford, I don't know if you guys have seen the meme that sometimes pops up from time to time. You've got 2 people digging for diamonds. One of them has just given up right before he catches the diamonds, and then the other one still got a little bit to go, but he's still chucking away and digging away, and he's about to get the diamonds, right? That kind of thing. Marcus Rashford is the first guy. He's quit Manchester United right before we're about to strike it lucky. I'm telling you now, he does have a point there. He does have a point that it seems to me that Marcus Rashford has just got sick of all the different resets at Manchester United. And fair enough, I could have understood that, but he still signed that contract. He could have left Manchester United if he'd had enough, and he could have left on a free when his value was sky high, and he could have gone and charged £400,000 a week and got a big bumper signing on fee at Barcelona or Real Madrid or whoever would have had him back then, but he didn't. He signed the contract with Manchester United and then he stopped trying. That's what happened, and it is what it is. So, this little clip here from this has just kind of gotten under my skin, because it just comes from this weird victim mentality energy, and I cannot stand that. And I just had to say this little bit. Marcus Rashford is coming across like, Man United, blah, 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 blah. I don't feel sorry for him. I really don't, because he's getting paid a lot of money. He's getting paid far more per day than I get per year. So, not interested, pal. If you'd have been putting the effort in like Bruno Fernandes was, and then you left, then it wouldn't have been a problem. If Bruno Fernandes took the money in Saudi Arabia and then came back for a friendly, say, he'd have been cheered. I don't think you're going to get cheered when you come to Manchester United, pal. I think you've tainted your legacy. And for Gary Lineker to come out with that shameful, irresponsible comment about, you know, it being if it had been a white player wearing all those stupid outfits or whatever, then the media wouldn't have been interested or bothered. Shame on you, mate. Shame on you, Gary Lineker. But anyway, what do you guys think? Do you sympathise with Marcus Rashford? Do you agree with Gary Lineker? Either way, you know, this is the brutally honest truth on the Big D's channel. Big D is interested in what is on your mind. Even if you do disagree with the Big D, fine, not a problem. Thoughts in the comments. The Big D reads all of the comments, and he's always interested in what is on your mind. So, anyway, we'll leave it there, and the Big D will see you in the next one.